Well, let's talk now to Marco Forgione, who's Director General of the Chartered Institute of Export and International Trade. Good to see you back on the programme, Marco. So the fact that the UK and the EU have made a deal at all is significant, isn't it? Are there any surprises in the detail?
Well, we're waiting to hear the full detail of what's been agreed. But the heads of terms are hugely positive. And I think what was slightly unexpected was around professional travel and mutual recognition for trade in services. Of course, that's about 80% of the UK economy. All the headlines are being written by the SPS, the sanitary, phytosanitary, dealing with food, drink and agricultural products. But I think behind that, there are a number of areas where there are interesting opportunities that will have really important economic impact.
So what does this deal say about the reset of the relationship between the two? Because it was pretty acrimonious, wasn't it, in the initial period after Brexit?
Well, I think yes. It was fairly tetchy, the relationship for a while between the UK and the EU. But what's clear, where we're at now, this agreement announced today really puts that cooperation back into the Trade and Cooperation Agreement. And I think this is about understanding that the world of international trade is changing, and actually it's really important that two major trading partners, the UK and the EU, needs to have a much better relationship and to remove unnecessary friction.
So a better relationship, but does it look like something of a re-entry to the EU, a gradual reintegration perhaps?
I think what we're looking at here is a mechanism for UK and the EU economies to work much more closely together and collaboratively. But there's absolutely no ability for the UK to directly be reintegrated into a customs union or into the single market. And there are freedoms and flexibilities that UK has that other nations within the EU don't have. And if you look at the last couple of weeks, we had the trade agreement between the UK and India. We've got the trade agreement between the UK and the US. We've got the ongoing negotiations around the Middle East, the GCC countries. So I think that what we're seeing is a rewriting of the mechanism, the partnerships, the relationships of international trade. And actually the UK is at the heart of that.
Marco, great to talk to you. Thanks for coming on the programme. That's Marco Forgione, Director General of the Chartered Institute of Export and International Trade.